Hi Stewart students, and welcome to your next virtual learning lesson for math class. I'm Mrs. Gravenese. Let's get ready to learn. Find a quiet place to work, have out your pencil and math notebook, and message your teacher if you need help. Well, we did it. We made it to the final chapter in math, and this chapter is all about geometry. Here's our objective for today. I will be able to classify polygons based on properties. So here is a word that you probably have heard before. Maybe you forget what it means. Polygons. Let's take a look at that definition. Here are some examples of common polygons. But first, what's a polygon? It's a closed figure made of straight segments without overlapping. So there's three parts to that definition. Number one, a polygon has to be closed. Number two, it's made up of straight segments. No bends, no curves. Number three, there's no overlapping. That's a polygon. Also, polygons are two-dimensional. So here are some polygons, and we're going back a few years to naming this guy as a triangle. This one's called a quadrilateral. And how do they get these names? Why is this a triangle? Why is this a quadrilateral? Well, it's based on the number of sides and angles that they have. So a triangle has three sides, 1, 2, 3, and 3 angles. A quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 inside angles. And a lot of times there are tricks to remembering these. For example, you might think of a tricycle. How many wheels does a tricycle have? 3. Or a tripod is a camera stand with how many legs? 3. Can you think of any other words that have tri in the beginning of them? Okay, here's quadrilateral. You see quad. If you've ever ridden a quad, how many wheels does it have? 4 wheels. Pentagon has 5 sides and angles. There's a very famous building in Washington, D.C. called the Pentagon because the shape of the building is like a pentagon. A hexagon is a polygon with 6 sides and angles. I always remember this because hex has an X in it, and so does the number 6. So that's a little helpful hint. A heptagon has 7. We just don't often work with 7-sided figures. An octagon is common. That has 8 sides and angles. And you can think of an octopus, which has 8 tentacles, and an octagon, which has 8 sides. A nonagon has 9, not so common. And a decagon has 10. You might see deca like decade. A decade is 10 years, and a decagon is 10 sides. So see if you can think of any connections between these polygon words and other things in life that might go with them. So these are all polygons. Now there is a kind of a subgroup of polygons called regular polygons. And a polygon that's regular has all equal side lengths and angle measures. So to be a regular polygon, if I measured all 3 side lengths of this triangle, they'd be exactly the same. And that makes it regular. If I measured every side length of the decagon, they would all be exactly the same, so it's regular. Okay, and that goes for any polygon. So I wanted to show you some non-examples. So this little semicircle is not a polygon. Can you think of why? Yeah, it's not a polygon because it has this curved side here. How about this red figure over here? Why isn't that a polygon? Yeah, because there's an opening. A polygon must be closed. How about this green figure? It's not a polygon. How come? This one's a little trickier. This is not a polygon because there's an overlap. These two triangles meet right here. So if I only had one of these halves, then it would be a polygon. So we could say there are two polygons that are touching, but this figure itself is not a polygon. How about the heart? Why isn't it a polygon? Because it's curved, okay? So just so we're clear, polygons, they have to be closed, made up of straight pieces with no overlaps. A regular polygon means that all the side lengths and all of the angle measures are equal. All right, so lesson 1 in your book is about polygons. You're going to hear a lot of the same thing. A polygon is a closed figure made up of line segments that do not cross each other. So here are some polygons, and here are some non-polygons. Okay, curved, open, curved, overlapping. So here is an example of that building that I was telling you about. The building shown is the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Describe the sides of the figure formed by the red outline. Does the red outline form a polygon? Well, you can see this is an actual photo of the Pentagon. It's a huge building in Washington, D.C. And if you look at the red outline of the building, how many sides does the building have? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Do those sides ever cross over each other? No. So the figure is a polygon. A regular polygon is a polygon with congruent sides and angles. Congruent sides just means that they are equal in length, and congruent angles mean that they have the exact same angle measure. Let's determine if this polygon appears to be regular or not regular. Study this polygon. Sometimes it helps if you turn it on its side. Now I know this isn't a piece of paper, it's a piece of technology, but if you were to turn this up and down to the side, it might give you a little bit of an easier time to see if all of the sides are the same. Well, when I study this, the top and bottom appear to be a little bit longer than the other sides. So are all 6 of these sides congruent? No. So this is not a regular polygon. And since we've mentioned it, it has 6 sides. So does anyone remember what a 6-sided polygon is called? A hexagon. So this is just a hexagon. All right, here's a little table that I want us to complete. It's giving us the name of the polygon, an example of what a regular polygon would look like, an example of a polygon that is not regular, and we have to come up with the number of sides and then draw another polygon that's not regular. So starting off quite simple, a triangle. Here's what a regular triangle looks like. It's also called equilateral triangle. Here's a not regular triangle, and how many sides does it have? 3. See if you can sketch another triangle that's not regular. Here's what I came up with. Maybe I can find him. There we go. As you can see, all 3 sides are not the same length. A quadrilateral. Here's a regular one. It's also called a square. Here's a not regular one. How many sides? 4. And see if you can draw another quadrilateral, 4 sides, that are not all equal in length. Here's mine. We're going to learn in another lesson that this is actually called a trapezoid. All right, a pentagon. Regular, not regular. How many sides? 5. And see if you can draw another pentagon that is not regular. Here's mine. Okay, you can see that they're not all the same length. Up next is a hexagon. Regular, not regular. How many sides? 6, and go ahead and draw one that's not regular. There's mine. And lastly, an octagon. Regular. What? That looks familiar. This shape. Can anyone identify where you've seen this particular shape before? Yes, it's a stop sign. Okay, so all of those red stop signs that you see at the corners are octagons, and they are regular octagons because all of the sides should measure the same length. Here's another octagon that has 8 sides, but they're not all the same length. See if you can draw one. Now, as we add more sides, it's a little harder you have to count them, and it's a little harder to draw them if they're not regular. Just make sure as you're making your lines, you're counting to make sure you connect with 8 lines. There's mine, kind of funky. I drew it freehand, but it does have 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so you should be getting familiar with all of these vocabulary words. Now I want you to do some practice with me. So we're going to classify each polygon by the number of sides it has. Classify is another word for name. So what is the name for that polygon? No, we're not naming them like Tom or Barry. We're naming them based off of their actual math name. So pause your video, see if you can count up the sides and write the name or classification of each of these polygons. All right, let's check how you did. Number 1, 3 sides is a triangle. Number 2, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides is a pentagon. Number 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides is a quadrilateral. All right, number 4, just be careful when you're counting that you don't count the same side twice because there's quite a few of them. So I'm going to start right here and I'm going to leave my mouse there and I'm going to actually point with my hands so that I don't count the same side twice. So I have 1, 2, 3, little guy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an octagon. Over here, number 5, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. That's another quadrilateral. And you can see that it looks pretty different than our other quadrilateral. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a hexagon. All right. Now we're going to tell if these polygons are regular or not regular. Remember, regular means they have the same side lengths and the same angle measures. So looking at this figure, it has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral. I see the top and bottom measure 2 centimeters, and the left and right each measure 1 centimeter. So are all of the sides the same? They are not, so this is not regular. Number 8, I see that every angle inside of this 5-sided figure or pentagon, each angle measures 108 degrees. So if all of the angles are the same measure, and if I look at the sides, there's those teeny tiny little marks. Each of them has one little teeny tiny mark, which indicates that all of the 5 sides are the same. So this is actually a regular pentagon. And then over here, we have a triangle, and each side measures 1 inch, and each angle is 60 degrees. So all the sides are the same, all of the angles are the same. It's a regular triangle, also known as an equilateral triangle. All right. And I have a little bit more practice for you. So now you are identifying the structure, naming each polygon, again by its math name, and determining if it appears to be regular or not. So you can pause the video and then hit play when you're ready. All right, and then you can copy these down. For the last 4, you're actually going to draw the polygons, and then Make sure that you either draw them regular or not. All right, so if you have any questions or if you would like your teacher to check these problems, message your teacher. You can always take a picture of your work and attach it. That is easy for your teacher to quick take a look at. And this is just the first lesson in this chapter, and a lot of this lesson was a review from previous years. So hopefully this was kind of a nice little break following chapter 11, which can be tough with all of those conversions. So hopefully this was kind of an easier lesson for you. But if it was challenging, remember, ask for help. We are here to help you. And I will see you again next week for the next math video. Stay safe and healthy, and have a great day.